My guess is that Ed Miliband will be grateful that his brother is crossing the Atlantic to be in New York. It's been this shadow over his leadership of the Labour Party ever since he beat him in that election at the Labour Party conference in 2010. So with him off the scene, I think all the speculation about him succeeding, replacing Ed Balls, causing trouble from the backbenchers is gone. Tory backbenchers are a very unhappy lot, even at the best of times, and they react very badly, not just to the latest spate of opinion polls, but their mood reflects the very latest opinion poll. And if the latest opinion poll is bad, or the latest growth numbers are bad, they get depressed. And at the moment, they cannot see an easy path to win the next general election, or in many of their own individual cases, keep their seats. And so they are grumbling, they are worried, they are anxious. But until there's an alternative to David Cameron in the parliamentary party, which I don't think there is, that would improve Tory fortunes, we just have this chronic grumbling that won't actually lead anywhere. I have always thought the coalition would probably break down 6 to 12 months before the end of the Parliament. I thought that the Liberal Democrats would take some sort of opportunity to distance themselves from the Conservatives in the run-up to polling day. I'm beginning to wonder actually whether that's right, and actually whether they will keep right until the end in government. I think there will be a lot of repositioning from within government. We'll see a lot more differentiation, but actually it might well be the case that the coalition really will last until polling day with both parties full members. I think it's the hardest of elections to predict, the next election. I can't really see David Cameron doing much better than he did at the last general election, given all the pain of austerity. It's difficult for him to add to his vote. But I can't see Ed Miliband becoming Prime Minister either, in a sort of funny way. I think he's not seen by most of the British people as a credible Prime Minister in waiting. But obviously I cannot be right. Both of them cannot lose. So I think it's likely that the Liberal Democrats will probably keep about 2/3 of their seats. They're more dug in their seats than the national opinion polls suggest. And they may hold the balance of power once again. So, forced to make a prediction, I think the likeliest is a Lib-Lab pact, simply because Labour, because the boundaries, don't have to do particularly well to be the largest party. But 2 years is a long time. The Leveson inquiry has been a huge moment for British journalism. We all know that some of the journalism we've seen in recent years has fallen way below standards, but the worst of it was illegal, and it's being taken through the courts, and that was the right way to proceed. I think putting press oversight onto a statutory basis with this incredibly messy compromise that's been agreed at 2 AM in the morning by 3 parties, I think beginning to look much more complex than anyone anticipated even a week or so ago, and imposing quite substantial financial costs on an industry that is already struggling to make ends meet. So this is bad for freedom, bad for the economics of a vital industry in our country. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if actually the whole Leveson plan is never implemented in the way we saw through the Royal Charter. What I hope Conservative Home has done over the last 8 years is has given grassroots Tory members a voice that they wouldn't otherwise have had. I think we're seeing a huge decentralisation of media power, one of the greatest decentralisations of all time, really. There's no longer just a few people in Westminster, in London, who control the national conversation. The national conversation is really generally involving many more people. If you have a good idea, if you have a good argument through blogs, through Twitter, through all sorts of social media, you can ensure your voice is heard, and I hope Conservative Home's been a small part of that phenomenon. Well, I'm really looking forward to working for the Times. I'm filling big shoes. Anne Spatman, my predecessor. The Times comment pages, I think, are the best in the country. I hope to make some differences, bring perhaps a blogger's perspective to some of the to the pages. But what I think is incredibly important, I'm a conservative, that's not going to change. But the Times' advantage is you can go to the Times' pages, unlike almost any other newspaper, and read people from the left and right and across the political spectrum. And that breadth is absolutely something I want to protect.